Yeah, welcome back to the firehouse for some more firehouse reasoning. Tonight I'm going to look at the game of life, as I would say. Now, you know that in every game, I say there's a referee. And in this game of life that we are playing, there is a referee. I know that the majority are not aware of the referee, and they are not aware of the referee because of how they are playing the game of life then, you know what I mean? Because we have a choice in how we play the game of life. And if we continue to live negatively, then we are never going to be aware of the referee. And then, when we are not aware of the referee now, what is going to happen? We are going to be leaderless. You understand? Because none of you know the way. None of us know the way, you know what I mean? It's the referee of life who knows the rules of life. You understand what I mean? Now, the referee can educate you about the rules of life, but without the referee, which right now on earth, well, I don't know for how long, like I say, for aeons and aeons, beings have been playing the game of life without the assistance of the referee. You see what I mean? That means they are not playing by the rules. And if you are not playing by the rules, well, you're going to bring a situation like what is happening currently now on earth, which I will speak about later on in this reasoning. But before we speak about current affairs, I want to explain once more how we can get in touch with the referee then, as it was, or how some people, or the majority of human beings, are not in touch with the referee. You see what I mean? Now, when I'm saying the referee, you know, this referee is the referee of life. So the referee is everywhere. And he's watching all the games that you are playing. Because you know humans like to play a lot of games. Like I say, it doesn't necessarily have to be football and netball and basketball. You know what I mean? You like to play a lot of romantic games or business game. I don't know, all kind of little tricky games that humans play without playing by the rules then. You see what I mean? And when you are playing like that, well, like I say, you are not going to be aware that there is even a referee in life. You see what I mean? Because you think you know best then. Or if you don't think you know best, maybe you think you're a scientist know best. Or maybe you're philosophers. Or maybe you're wise men, I don't know. Maybe you think they know best. But they're not the referee either. You know what I mean? No wise man, no prophet, no saint, none of them is the referee in this game of life that we are playing, like I'm saying. But you ain't going to find this out yourself if you continue to play the game of life away from the referee. You see what I mean? The only way you are going to understand this game, not only you, you know, any being that ever come out a woman, whether in this time, the time to come or the time before, if any of them ever did understand the referee or come to understand the game of life, they had to cease from doing what they was doing wrong. You understand? You have to stop playing the game that you're playing. That means you know what you're doing wrong, don't you? So what you do, you correct these wrongdoings. Because until you correct these wrongdoings as well, life is a positive and a negative then. You know, like night and day, male and female, you know. Those kind of things. And until you correct yourself, you are only overstanding one side of life then. You know, like if you have a coin, you are only looking at the tail side. You know nothing about the heads. You're totally blind to that. You see what I mean? When you are living, as I would call it then, just in the material world, your spiritual eyes are not open. Your material eyes are open. But on the spiritual level, you're totally blind. And you're not a physical being. You're a spiritual being. See what I mean? So automatically, well, not automatically, because some people are still blind physically. But the great majority then can see through the physical eyes. But their spiritual eyes remain closed. That's why they don't understand the referee. But it only remains closed due to their own action. And it is only your own action that will now open your spiritual eyes so that you can understand both the positive and the negative. Excuse I and I. Now, when this happens now, yeah, where your eyes open, where you cease your behavior and your eyes open, it's like coming out of an egg. You see, like how a chick come out of an egg, it emerges into a different world, innit? Where it can now see. Before it was immersed in the egg where it could not see. Just like, if you want to use us, before we emerge out of the mother's womb into this world, we was in the womb of our mother where we could not see then. You dig it? Once we emerge out of the womb, we enter this world where we can see. You see what I mean? Once you cease from doing negativity, you come into the world of positivity. It's like coming out, born again, where you can see into a different world. You see into the world of the internal. You see what I mean? Now, when you are seeing within, in the internal world, you will observe the positive and the negative. The negative one that they fear so much that they call Satan. You know that some people are saying they are possessed by Satan. What you call Satan is within all beings. The negative one, you know what I mean? The supreme master. If you want to call it the devil himself is within. But you don't see this clearly until, like I say, you switch over to positive behavior and your eyes open, where you can now see within. Because your internal eyes are open. So you can see physically and spiritually as well. You see what I mean? Now this is where you encounter the referee, the real referee, because the real referee is the positive one. The light within. You see the sun outside. This same sun is inside. Beyond the regions of what you would call the devil, the mind. The negative one. Way beyond the negative one is the positive one. The giver of light to all mind. When you clean the mind up. You understand? Because like I say, the light of that one will not enter a dirty mind. You know, it's not refusing to enter any mind. It will enter any mind. But there are laws then. And the laws is that you must clean up your negative ways. You see what I mean? There is no other way of knowing this, you know. You can't believe in this one, or like they would call it God. You can't believe in God and know God. You have to take action to know God. You see what I mean? So before you can know God, you have to look at the things that you are doing and how you are doing it and the reason why you're doing it. And be honest to thyself. It's got nothing to do with any energies outside. You have to be sincerely honest to yourself. Now when you are sincerely honest to yourself, you will make correction to yourself. And those corrections that you are making to yourself will allow the light of God to come into you then. So to even speak certain words, then, as I would say, you have to live a certain way. It's like sowing seeds. Because if you never lived that way, sincerely, you could never utter the words. Otherwise, everyone on earth will be uttering the word of truth, wouldn't they? Because they have mouth to speak. But listen to all the mouth speaking and what they're saying. And you will soon find out that very few mouths that are talking know what they are about. You see, a lot of them are just repeat what other people say. Or what they claim maybe Jesus say or the prophets say. Or the Buddha say. You see what I mean? But they themselves ain't saying nothing. But why aren't they saying nothing? Because God never created them as an idiot. No, they're not. They have nothing to say because of the action that they are performing. Because there is laws to knowing things. You see what I mean? I never set those laws, you know. I am not the referee. I wasn't the one that, set the rules then. But that's how the rules are. That it doesn't matter who you are or how great man want to say you are. Because the laws of life is not interested in the greatness of men or beings then. So it doesn't matter who you are. If your heart and mind and soul is not sincerely desiring and loving truth, you ain't going to learn certain things or understand them. You see, because you have to have that desire. You see what I mean? So when you have that desire now, of course that desire will drive you along to change your negative ways. And changing these negative ways, like I say, is now going to wake you up. You understand? So every human being can wake up, It's down to their own desires then, as it was. Because these eyes that we have to see, well, we live in a world, in a material. I say nothing wrong with material, Material is great thing, But we get distracted there, People desire things then. And when you are living negatively, all your desires are wrong then, You can't be right. You see what I mean? So, in a way then, only those people who are desiring the truth then could understand what I'm saying to them. The great majority won't. Why? Because their eyes are not yet open. And just like how I'm saying then, internally, the light of God will not enter a mind until that mind is clean or is willing to clean. It's the same way if I speak the truth to a man. He ain't going to understand it if his mind is corrupted, is it? Because that's just clean water into a dirty vessel. So I'm more going to have an argument coming out of him. You see what I mean? Same thing if I should speak to those people who believe in God then are religious. It doesn't end up in a reasoning. You see what I mean? When we reason about God then, it ends up in an argument. Why? Because two good men, I say, could never come into an argument. Two bad men can, or two who don't know might end up in an argument. But two brethren or sisters who know, or a brother and a sister who know, can never end up in any argument about what is right and which way, what, No. See what I mean? The only reason why there's any arguments, I call arguments, and it always happens. It doesn't matter which religious person it is, because from your religious, don't say religious, but from you in a religious group, you are just following a group. You're not an individual, are you? So you just listen to what people tell you, or follow what you would call tradition. You see what I mean? But to know the truth, you have to let go of all those things about tradition. The truth's got nothing to do with tradition. It's got everything to do with self-discipline. The individual himself, It's got nothing to do with what my mother and father say. You see what I mean? Or what my ancestors say, or nothing like that at all when it comes to seriously knowing the truth. You see, I can let go of everything, you know, history and nothing to do with that at all. You see what I mean? It's just a desire for knowing what is right and understanding what is right and striving one best to live as honestly as one can. If you know what I mean. I am not saying that I am perfect, you know. I'm full of all like strainer, you know. But I know what perfection is though. No, the referee, you see what I mean? So I and I is just a striver. You know? He never say, God never say, I don't know what perfection is, like I say, in a human being. I don't know why human being want to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect, you know what I mean? Because if I'm perfect, that means I wouldn't have nothing else to do, innit? But if I'm not perfect, I have a lot of, you know, to work on, you know? Polish on, you know, slowly developing and growing then. You see what I mean? But we're not even going to get to this stage of developing and growing if we refuse to kick and crack open our shell. You see, because we are contained in negativity then, which I'm describing here, you know, like being in an egg. Where when you're in that egg now, you're not aware of the spiritual world, you know? Just like when we was in our mother's womb, we wasn't aware of this physical world then. Now we enter the physical world because we are contained in this physical world. We are not aware of the spiritual world. You see what I mean? To be aware of the spiritual world now, we have to go through what the religious people would call being born again then. You know? Or what I would call the virgin birth. Yeah, meaning, as when I say the virgin birth now, we are already born, innit? Mother and father do the thing and we are here now. To be born again over in the spiritual world now, this is when we introduce self-discipline, correcting our negative ways, as I would like to use the word, our hue animal behavior. When we correct our hue animal behavior now, this allows us to be born over into the positive side or to cross over then, whichever way you want to look at it now. But when this happens now, you have a new character, a new personality within the being, within it, same, you know, new. So we call that the virgin birth now. You see, because that took place without any sex. You see what I mean? But through your own effort. You see what I mean? Because nothing is going to change spiritually, I'm on about, you know. Nothing is going to change unless you change. You see what I mean? That's just the laws. And ain't no way of you overstanding if you don't change either. You see what I mean? But if you change and when your eyes open now, like I'm saying now, you are in a different world, innit? Over in that world now, you can see clearly as an example, like I'm telling you that we can't get old. We are spirit living in this physical body. When the body dies with us, you know. But there is rules and and laws in life then. Just like how you see on the negative side, they have laws. You know? There's laws in the positive as well. You see what I mean? So it implies that while we're here, we are going to reap what we sow. There's consequences to the things that we are doing then, if you know what I mean. But there's also an opportunity, I say, while we're here. For whatever reason we're here, I don't know. Maybe we was some bad soul somewhere else and we come to earth to recompense. I don't know. Life is such a mysterious thing. I don't know how it turn out. But all I know is that this now, the universe is infinite and so are we. So from here then, from the restriction of this earth, we can win our freedom to go into infinity then, to go where we will, do what we want then, if that was the case. You see what I mean? But you would have to earn the right to do such a thing, because Who would grant, as an example, some of these killers that I see on earth whose only intention to cause war and chaos, grant such a spirit the right to roam the universe? They go and just looking for trouble, you know what I mean, and causing trouble. So, while you can free yourself, some people are going to, some souls, don't call you people then, you know, not your body I'm on about, your soul, because you're a soul living in the body. You've just been tricked to believe that you are black and white. Yeah? But because of your own action, when death remove you from this body now, you won't be able to rise, you know. You won't be able to rise. Not because any God is punishing you, because I tell you, the one is love. Love don't deal with punishment, you know. You just look at it like, say, there's just laws that run the universe, you know what I mean? And it alters for no one, it's just law. So, alters for no one, law is law, you know what I mean? Serious thing. That's how we deal with law, serious, you know, to the fullest. So, law is serious. You either, if you obey law, well, you work with law. You break law, you suffer the consequences of breaking law. Because there's consequences to breaking the law. That's how laws operate. You know what I mean? Now, we now, as souls then, while we're here, we are given the freedom of choice. Where the referee have no power over us. Supreme referee, and neither does the negative one himself, the great master himself, Satan, the one you call Satan, the inward one, the negative energy within. Yeah? Have no power. Death, the most scary thing to you, human being, have no power over us either. You know, you cannot touch us, you can just have to leave the body. So everything is down to us. No one else. It ain't down to the devil or blood clot, I'm telling you. And it ain't down to God. Our death. It's down to what you desire here yourself. You see what I mean? What if you desire the truth? Well, this one, like I'm telling you, will teach you. Because that one is the teacher. And has always been the teacher. The supreme teacher I'm about, you know. I'm not about some God, some fairy God that is supposed to be up in some heaven somewhere, you know, who have to send prophets or whoever here. This one is always here. You see what I mean? So this one is everywhere at once. In all beings, you know. Voop. Don't have to send anyone. Too magical to send. Don't need to send anyone, you know. Those are just criminal. Those beings, I say, who are just seeing the negative side of things. Who made that choice. So because they made that choice and they get lost, which you must get lost because you're breaking the law. Law's rule, you know. The consequences of breaking the law is to get lost in darkness. So in darkness they are trying to create their own God or light, you know. So in their own darkness they create prophets, saints, you know. But none of it is true. It's about 1 trillion, billion, maybe even a zillion billion miles, if we was going to measure it in miles, away from truth. You know? They are the complete opposite. You see what I mean? What they're talking about. Because the truth is already in you. But you have to do things like I say to find it. You see what I mean? And if you don't find it, like I say, well, you're just going to live and understand one side of life. If you discover yourself, you understand both sides. Because you had to come from one side to cross to the other. You see what I mean? But when your eyes are open, you will be able then to understand the positive and the negative energies within yourself. You see what I mean? Because if you don't understand these energies, then there can be no order outside. It's got to be disorder. So the people that create the disorder in the world have no order in themselves. You understand? That's why you have disorder in the world. It's a simple thing, you know what I mean? But it's also, I don't know, well, how are they going to work it out, like I say, if you refuse then to make the right choice. You see what I mean? And they have chosen then, like I say, to run off. Well, down in some dark alleyway, you know, scientists lead them, you know, and everybody, oh, this scientist say that science. Science is only knowledge. It's not wisdom. I'm not saying science is a bad thing, you know. Science in itself is a great thing. But the beings that study science, you know what I mean, to think of them as some expert in what they don't even know themselves. You see what I mean? That's why these scientists that they have in Earth now don't know the referee. If they know the referee, yeah, they will be scientists still, but they'll be a different type of scientist. You know what I mean? But now these are scientists, like I say, who are lost in negativity. You see what I mean? Not scientists who knows themselves. Because the majority of beings are blind, innit? You have to be blind. You have to be blind to create the world that you've created here now. You know what I mean? Because let's drop it into current affairs now. Current affairs now. Well, the Saudi Arabians, let's start with them. They are murdering, I don't know how many in Yemen with their bombs and, well, it's the American and the British friends, so they are not saying anything on that part. In Afghanistan the other day, the Taliban overrun Kunduz. They're still there. I see some news today, residents say we want a ceasefire, we're fed up of this fighting. You know what I mean? The American dropped some bombs and some hospital up there and kill off some people and say they're sorry. You know what I mean? Not to, as I just remember that them killing of these people in the hospital. The Saudi Arabian last week, they kill over 100 and other at a wedding party. And today it was reported again, I think they killed 30 and more at a wedding party. And in each occasion they say, no, it's not us. You know what I mean? Now, moving on now, where is the other hot spot now? Oh, up in Syria. I find this one funny with the Hugh animals, you know. Well, for a long time now, they've been saying, listen, Assad must go, Assad must go. I don't know, you know, none of these people like the French Prime Minister, British Prime Minister, even Obama, they're not Syrians. They're in their own country. Just like how they was in there saying, Gaddafi must go, Gaddafi must go, and Saddam must go and then destroy their country. But they are here now, you know, funding what they call moderate rebels. Their moderate rebels don't know how much of the thousands of people they kill, their weapon. These moderate rebels fire in Syria, fighting the Assad government to bring them down on their behalf. Kill. But as according to them, oh no, there's moderate rebels. You know what I mean? So they now, the West, because the American decided, okay, there's a group causing some trouble in Iraq and they spread over into Syria called ISIL. You know? So we are going to bomb them in Iraq, but we're going to slip 2 bombs in Syria. No one invite them in, you know. The British headlong as well dropping bomb and the French. All this time the Russian, the big bear, sitting back watching what is going on. And then all of a sudden within the last week here, I have noticed now that Russia has moved in. The first day Russia dropped some bomb, it was reported on the news that 36 civilians was killed. And, you know, they've been bombing Syria for over 6-7 months, and I've never heard them report if they kill any civilian or what happened. But the first day the Russian bomb, now them say the Russian are bomb civilian. You know? So they are saying, no, oh well, Russia should only bomb ISIS. They are saying Assad must go, but the Russians are saying no, Assad must not go, because if Assad go, the country is going to disintegrate into just like how Libya and Iraq turn out. So we are going to back Assad and make sure, well, you know, maybe after when everything's settled we can have a change. But for the time being, we have to defend the Syrian government. You know what I mean? Now, if you go into a country to defend the Syrian government, you have to kill all those who is against the Syrian firing. I don't mean civilian. I mean all those who are armed. Whether they moderate or they don't moderate, they are terrorists against the Syrian government. So I don't know how come America and Britain now are crying. They literally saying to Russia, no, you can't kill our the Free Syrian Army or whatever. But it looked like the Russians are saying, listen man, anyone who is fighting against Assad is a terrorist, so we're going to just shoot them up. You know what I mean? So it look like now, because I'm saying to myself then, you cannot use fire to put fire out still, you know. But this fire in Syria seems to be getting a little larger and larger and larger. You know what I mean? And like I said, they are putting more fire in, so it's only going to blaze up. You know what I mean? If any one of you idiots out there reason to yourself that, because you're American, that you could somehow defeat Russia, you can't do it. You know? Just like Russia can't defeat you. You know? But there's going to be enormous damage. So I don't know why. Better you just tell your friend to back off, innit? Why you want to fight? The bear don't look like the bear is the one pushing the agenda then, if you know what I mean. The bear look like it would be willing to be in a defensive position. But the eagle and the lion seem up for a fight. Today I see Britain saying that they send 100 soldiers gone round by some Baltic area near Russia. I don't know what the lion expect, that the bear is going to be terrified of 100 soldiers. And then you have the dragon in the background there, China, shadowing the bear. Because the dragon will back the bear in this confrontation that this is trying to brew up, you know. Because the way that I reason it, I say to myself, listen man, negativity breeds division, you know. And in division you can't have any unity. There's always argument and, you know, one want to do this one, you know. Positivity bring unity. So if you have two souls who are united in positivity, you will have no chance of any argument, any war, destruction and so forth. But those who are mere within negativity, it's a definite. It's just, you know. So evil will destroy evil then, as it was, you know. Or they will fight. They will never come to any reason. They can't operate reason. If you know what I mean. They are dealing with force. Plus they are on the other side, isn't it? Negativity, darkness. So the reason, you know. So eventually then, like I say, it's a clash of the titans. Look like it's getting closer and closer, you know. I think they used to call it, they had a Cold War, you know. Or what they call fighting through proxy. You know, through one side support that side. But now, to me anyway, it look like the big boys have entered the same arena. Because now you have Russian jets flying over Syria. And they have the right as well, because the Syrian regime invite them in. They never invite America and Britain, you know, they are just bullying themselves in. You know? They invite the Russian in. Now, look, how hurtful that must be to the American and their NATO allies. To see now they are ready to destroy this Assad, you know. and want to really deal with him. And now this big bad bear enter the arena. You see what I mean? So how are you going to do it now? With the bear backing Assad and advancing and to your rebel, what you call moderate rebel areas, you know, giving Assad ear cover, you know, not no normal ear cover, massive ear cover. Fire some, see Russian and fire cruise missile from outer ship, about 2,000 miles away, you know. So everyone is getting ready now, like I say, you know. So yeah, currently, those who went away from the law, seems as if they are building and building to what they call the Third World War, you know. And you can see it playing out in life. Like I say, now many people are saying, as an example, I hear some people say, well, if there was a God, why don't God do something about it? No. You will not understand the rules of life, I say, until you wake up. So those kind of statements are made by beings who are not yet arisen then. If you know what I mean. Because here the rules of life now, like I say now. Did I not tell you that God don't have any power over us? I told you that one, innit? We have the freedom of choice, and we can operate it how we want. Now, because God is all love and all good, you know, all love. Once God give you the freedom of choice, God cannot interfere with your freedom of choice. Let me say what I mean. So the behavior of souls on the planet from whatever time has got nothing to do with God. And neither can God interfere. Because this is the choice of man. If you know what I mean. Well, I know it's a tough law to understand, but that's exactly how it is. So if any man going to think that, oh yeah, God is coming to save. No. God ain't coming to save nothing. Here. You are nothing, you know. Why? Why should God save you? You got the freedom of choice. It's an endless universe, you know. This is only a little planet, you know. Live in an endless universe. You live forever. You know, so this is only like a temporary stop in our journey in the great mystery of life. You see what I mean? So there's no need for God, like I say. And like I say, God is love. Love don't deal with interference or anything like that. No, don't get me wrong, you know. If you choose for God to teach you, God will teach you. You see what I mean? The laws and the ways of life, and because you make a choice. You see what I mean? Just like if you choose negativity, the negative master will teach you as well. Because the negative one, the one within, is the supreme master of negativity. Always been around. This time, that time, and the time to come. General, you know. Says God, bad dog, general, you know. So if you choose, yeah, any one of those energies can educate you, you know what I mean? So the way that beings choose to live on the planet, then, it's their choice. How could God interfere? And you know, it's just like they would say, God said, send 10 commandments saying, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. God cannot do that under the laws of the freedom of choice that has been granted to the souls of beings. That's summer. God cannot tell us what to do, so God could never instruct us to say, thou shalt not steal, because we're not idiots. We know the difference between wrong and right already. So God don't have to tell us what to do. Huh? If God had to tell us what to do, that means God never created us with the intelligence to understand what to do. But we have the intelligence to understand. You see what I mean? So once we have this intelligence, God, the supreme one, the referee, cannot tell us what to do. You see what I mean? Now, how we learn now is when we choose this referee, or when we surrender our will. This one will guide us. When we are under the guidance of this one, no dispute can arise. You see what I mean? Because instead of we getting into a personal argument now, no personal argument can arise because it will be the referee. We will both be following the referee. And we both know the referee, you understand? So it's the same, like I said, this is just like how you see one son giving light. Same way within with the referee. When we connect with the referee, we follow the ways of that one. Not our own personal way, you know what I mean? Or what I personally think. You know? It's like what I'm speaking about when I speak truth and right. It's not my own personal made up theory then, if you know what I mean. It is the way of the one. And this one was before I was born then. You know? Yeah? But we could have changed, innit? We didn't have to carry on, you know, for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years until we're dead, is it? You could have killed somebody then. Say, when, you know, I don't know, do something wrong. And then realize to yourself that, no, what I did there was wrong, you know. It's a bad thing to do. And then stop. Rather than carry on killing and going on, adding up. You know what I mean? That make no sense. It's like a man drinking in him 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. He ain't going to learn anything, is it? But maybe if he had changed his ways, he could have learned something. You understand? So it's about the changes that we make, or that we are willing to make. If we are not honest and willing to make these changes, yeah, we are going to get caught in their traps. Where you go and join a cult, and maybe you feel safe because there's a lot of you in it. So you feel safe within numbers, and you are convinced, like I say, about what they're telling you about God sent his only son Jesus, and God sent all that is well, when you wake up, you'll see only lunatics could come out with those kind of idiocy. You know, nothing to do with truth. This is when people are just totally like I say, about a trillion, billion, zillion mile away from truth. It's just total madness. But then again, belief is total madness, because it's then that they can't speak about anything that they know. These deluded souls who join the outward form of religion, they can only speak about what they believe. So even though we can know God, know the light within ourselves, and speak about it in a coherent way so people can understand, they can't do it because they don't know God. They can only speak about God in a belief kind of way then. You know, like up in heaven, and I speak of God in a fear kind of way, that they don't speak of God, they speak about, say, God sending his son. You see what I mean? So in their own mind, there is no way that one could communicate with God, even though God is in them. You know, they have this fear of God that, you know, they would have to speak to somebody in between them. That's why they have these go-between. They themselves can't face God. The believers themselves cannot face God. But if you change your negative ways and you wake up, you yourself face God, innit? You yourself. Because why would there be any fear of God anyway? What's God going to do? Beat you up and kill? What do you ask me? I think so. What, like some people hear them like fear. Fear, why? What's God going to do? God created you so that you should one day fear and be terrified in your boots about God. When I'm telling you that God is love. So how did love present such fear in the heart and mind of men? No. Only in the hearts and mind of those who are negative and continue to live in a animal way. You see what I mean? And continue to believe in the false story told to them in the darkness. And they will believe these stories as well, because the reason why believers believe, it's because believers have not yet correct their own negative ways. You understand? So when you are at fault within yourself, you can get hooked up in that. But when you are sincere and honest and have a desire to correct your own faults, you can never get caught up in any religion or any group where you have to follow what the group say or walk about talking about what the group say. You see what I mean? I don't walk and talk about what any group say. You know? Even though I'm a Rasta man, I don't walk and talk about what Rasta man say. I walk and talk about what I know myself as a bad general. And I tell that to Rasta man, Christian man, any blood clot man, Islam, any one of them. Black, I don't want them to call themselves black, any blood clot one of them, them at all. Yeah? Just me alone. And I'm not talking about anything that I believe, you know? Because that's what group people do. I just talk about what I personally, myself, know myself. You see what I mean? So I personally know the referee then, as we call him, the one in this reason. I know the referee. I know where the referee is. So all I have to do is talk about that. If anyone who is teaching about Jesus and Muhammad and the Buddha and that, yeah, they can teach about a man, but I'm not teaching about a man, innit? Don't care about no blood clot, man. I don't, like I said, I don't look down on no man, neither do I look up to any man. I look them all in the eye as a fire, you know? So I don't care about man and what they says before and what they never says before a blood clot either. I am saying what I'm saying now, because I know the one. You see what I mean? So that means even if what they would imagine angels and things together, but the blood clot that God for do with anything, I and I burn in the fire now. You see what I mean? And like I say, I'm not with any group. I'm not with any group either racially or spiritually. You know, like say we form up a club and we have some kind of thing going. I haven't got nothing going. You see what I mean? But this now, like I'm saying now, because we are all individuals, you know. It's just that we've been brainwashed into, you know, this like herd, either through the race business or religion business. Because, you know, nowadays people don't just stick together because they are the same, what they call race. But they stick together because they are the same religion. Even though they don't agree with each other, because religion is, believers can never unite. Because it represents division and separation. So how could any believers unite? Say, alright, say even Rasta, it's not as big as what man would call Christianity and Islam and that. But the different faction who call themselves Rasta, Naya, Bingi, 12 tribe or whatever, you think they're going to unite as one? No, they have a different order, innit? If you go amongst those who call themselves Muslim, you have different factions, Shia, this one, that one, this one and that one, over 72. Will they unite as one? No. Busy arguing because they believers in it. Same thing with what they call Christianity or any of the other form of outward form of religion. The people themselves will not unite. And they can't unite either. Because they're dealing with a belief thing, innit? They are in darkness, they cannot see. You know what I mean? I know that's painful for believers to swallow. But that is the truth. You know what I mean? I say I bet my soul on it. Because I used to be a gambler. I not gamble now, but spiritually I still like to gamble. And these are some of the occasions that I say I bet my soul on it. You know? About these believers. Yeah, willing to bet the soul. Because I know that it's true. You see what I mean? They are in darkness. Not because anyone well, maybe the great majority of people can be tricked, because, you know, we all get tricked. Because this thing go on from we come into the world. You see, either we're coming into a world that is positive and negative, but governed by negativity, so it's mostly negative. So you know that every child that come here is going to be groomed into negativity one way or the other. No matter how hard the parents try. That's it, any of the parents is awake. You know, but even if the parents is awake, it's a natural thing for the child to become brainwashed anyway. You know? Because eventually we have to free ourselves. But what I'm saying, after this brainwashing get done, very few escape this brainwashing after. You see what I mean? Because the system train you to academic achievement and you can get a better job, all kind of things and this and, you know. So eventually now, by the time you reach a certain age, most people just want to achieve their ambition of getting a house, a car, a money and thing. You see what I mean? They haven't got no thought of no spiritual development, whether what they're doing is right and correct, you know. So, a lot of people are convinced that, well, it's the fittest of the fittest. And you have to do whatever you have to do to make a penny then, you see me? Doesn't matter if you have to jump on a man's head. Sometimes you have to do that as according to them then. You know? Survival. You see what I mean? Because anything goes, like I say, anytime you are away from yourself, anytime you are away from the referee, anything goes. Because you cannot see. Because the referee is the light, you know. Without the light of the referee, we are blind. You see what I mean? There was a time then when I was a drinker, a gambler, and a womanizer then. That them time I don't know nothing about no referee. That doesn't, the referee was existing still though, you know. Boy, I never know. I was far away. Down in negativity down there. Enjoying myself as I would, you know. Enjoying myself in negativity. I had no idea about any referee. You know what I mean? I stumbled upon the referee because I don't know if I stumbled upon the referee or the referee stumbled up. I don't know how the credit go, but I do know that one morning when I wake up, the referee, I never knew it was the referee at the time, but the referee was saying to me, "Brethren, why are you drinking when you know you don't like drinking? You are a hypocrite." Now obviously I can't see the referee, you know. I know where this thing is. But I say, yeah, thing, you know. But don't forget, you know, at this time I don't know the referee. I don't even know where the referee was located within myself. It does not, you know, as far as I know, it could be coming out of the atmosphere, this voice that said to I what I was doing, and then it follow up with, why are you womanizing or why are you gambling? And show me that these things was negative then. Well, I knew they was bad, but no one ever pointed out to me then differently, because everyone was in it. So no one was sitting me down and saying, listen, this behavior, how you behave, you know? Because everyone that I know was in it as well. But when this one showed it to me now, I agree. And it was later on, I say, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 months after. I usually like to say 9, like our baby in a womb. The one himself reveal himself as if to say, yes, it was I who tell you, you know. So that's how I come now to know this one as it was then. You see what I mean? And can speak from, not from my point of view then, if you know what I mean, but from the one point of view. So really and truly, you know, if people had their ears open, I say, if they was honest, when I'm burning fire, they would just realize that I'm not the one burning the fire really, just passing through, you know. Like how you reflect a mirror, I'm just the mirror that reflect the will of that one. That same one that is within you who is listening. You see what I mean? Here they call that one conscience. You know? And the Rasta we call that one Rastafari. I say I like Rastafari because it's a 9-letter word. And I say I'm a 9th grade general, you know? Because you can't rise higher than 9. You see what I mean? That is what I call a soul, you know. When you reach 9 now, you behold the one. The terrible and dreadful one that was in the beginning. That one is the referee. You see what I mean? And I am his 9th grade general. And we now as a 9th grade general say we destroy greatness, wiseness and all those things. Because you cannot be wiser than the one. So if you want to brag about wisdom and who is wise, I will tell you, it is that one. If you want to brag about who is great, you know, It is that one. I know Mr. Great and I know Mr. Wise. So that's why I don't have no desire to be a wise man then. You know? Or to go on as if I know better than anybody. I don't know better than anyone. You see what I mean? I just know the one who does know better than anyone where the game of life is concerned. I never says, like I tell you, I never says I know it, you know. I says conscience know it. Because it is the light giver, the light. You see what I mean? I know that it is because it is my personal teacher then. You remember when I tell you that something says, why are you gambling? Why are you drinking when you know you don't like drinking? And why are you know those things? It was this one that was talking at the time, but I never know. But eventually it revealed itself to me. So that I know for sure. So that's why I'm so, like I say, bet my soul on it as well. I like to gamble. So I'm betting my soul that not even like what you imagine to be an angel or any soul anywhere in creation could defeat I and I where truth and right is concerned. Anywhere, never mind the beings, the soul and earth, you know. But any soul anywhere within this creation could ever defeat a ninth grade general. You can't do it, no soul can. Like I said, not because I am anyone, you know, because I never claimed to be, but I'm saying that this one, my teacher, yeah, is. And there's no way anything can, you know. It's just not possible, man. I wouldn't contemplate it. That's why I'm willing to bet my soul and the matter. And I know I'm a winner. Because I used to gamble. Sometimes I still love gambling. So, if as an example then, imagine that if every soul wake up here on earth then, or the great majority, wake up to the understanding of this one that is within themselves. Guess what? You have heaven and earth. Yeah, that would be where I finish, you know. Because in my simple mind then, yeah, for men to be building bombs and guns, it's just, I can't imagine, it just totally, you know. But then again, I think the reason for that is this now. When we was born, when we first entered this world, right, we was innocent and pure. Check it in a young baby. The baby don't even have no, like if you give a baby gold, or even them thing, a diamond, these are diamonds, you know. If you give the baby these pretty diamonds, you know, probably just taste it and, you know, after a while just throw it away, some nice gold, you know. Maybe just like the look of it, but sure, ain't going to lust of it or have any desire for it, and, you know. Show the baby a black, white, green Chinaman, don't care. These things of dislike and thing only develop after. You see? But while we was in, our mind was in this innocent state of mind, guess what? It got recorded in our memory. So it can be recovered. You see what I mean? And that's exactly what happened when you enter the ninth house. It's like back to childhood, you know? Recover the innocent state of mind. So in the innocent state of mind, there is no desire. So I don't have any desire, you know. I think, oh yeah, I would like to own this, I own that and have this and have that. No, I come in, mine is like the mind of a baby, you know. Not interested in nothing. Not interested in being great, in being wise, in being nothing at all. Apart from, maybe I say, just telling people about this one then, if you know what I mean. Because that is the one, you know. So after I know this one now, why would I want to have any ambition, right? It doesn't make any sense, innit? If I know the one, why would I want to have ambition? To do what? When I'm already doing what I, you know, what I enjoy, just, you know, follow the one, live on there, you know, no problem, you know, not a big deal, enjoy myself, listen to music, you know. Why would I want to desire to go be known greater, you know, great teacher, great master. No, I can't be no great teacher and master because I tell you the teacher is one teacher. You can't have these many different people that say, oh, Jesus is a great teacher, Muhammad, Buddha, this a man and that, all these different teachers. It's only one teacher, you don't dig it. That's when you know the teacher yourself, you know. And this one teacher now is within all. So no one don't have to travel anywhere to encounter the teacher. You know, imagine that somebody hear me talking and think, oh yeah, I'm the teacher. I said, no, but you don't have to come and see me to know known teacher. I'm not known teacher. The teacher is already within you. You see what I mean? So you need to do something then to become aware of this. If you are not aware. So if you are not aware that the teacher is within yourself now, you have to check your behavior and what you're doing. I say what I mean? Action, you know. So you take a stock of your life, what you're doing and how you're doing it. And then when you find out, well, you know, you don't have to find out. You already know the things that you're doing wrong. Whether it's cheating and hating people or whatever. Because people cannot see you, you know, because your spirit in the body. People can hide in the body and do a lot of things. You see what I mean? So the only way now to get out of these things is to correct thy wrong things. You know, like the believers down there in the dark are sitting there, say, oh, they're waiting for Jesus to save them, or, you know, God to save them. No one can save you but you. That's another real lie, you know. No one can save you but you taking action. You see what I mean? So this is not, if you are waiting, anyone who is relying on a savior, either as using them as a guide or waiting for them to save them, those are deluded souls. Because you are waiting for someone outside yourself, or you are following a book outside yourself. While you are doing that, you're ignoring your own conscience, which is the master, the supreme, Dan Dada. If any man on this planet don't think that conscience is the supreme master, let them bring any man who read book or follow book to come and reason with me, because I am a representation of conscience, then, you know, defend it to the death. So I would like to see any soul at all come and use their book to out-reason me, or to use their book and contradict what I'm saying. I would like to see that happen. Well, I know in myself it can't happen. You know? Well, there's always people what I call running up their mouth, you know what I mean? But those are still people who are in the dark, who are not awake. You see what I mean? If you was awake or half awake, how would you argue with the truth? I would like to know how. Because I ain't going to say anything that is not truthful and honest. 110 trillion% to the fullest. So I would want to see which soul would argue with it. Either on this blood clot earth or beyond. When we fire, you know. Something that means if you put up 1 ounce of argument, you know something's wrong. You see what I mean? Because we're dealing with what we know, innit? I'm telling you about the one. It's not no hairy, belief thing. You see what I mean? So the minute any soul counter-react what I'm saying, then you know something's wrong with them. Yeah, that's just only go like that, you know. Can't go no other way. You see what I mean? If truth could kill then, and you counter-react, you'd be dead. You'd see that, you know. You can't do that. You're going to, you will just die. If you know what I mean. Because there is no way at all of, like I say, any soul, whether we find them here on earth or beyond earth, you see what I mean? Contradicting the truth or arguing against it, you see what I mean? Are coming up, like I say, with Because you can't to do it. No, you couldn't do it. Because you are in the land of negativity. You see, down there is no light. You see what I mean? So you will be arguing from a position where you're not seeing clearly what you're talking about then. You see what I mean? While, like I say, I am over on this side here, over in both sides, having leave from the land of negativity to the land of positivity. You see what I mean? So there is no way of any soul at all, like I tell you, whether they on earth or they come from beyond earth, defeating I and I in a reasoning. And did I go to any college or any school or study any great books within the earth? No. I never done none of those things. Like I said, I'm just a full of shit man like any other human being. You see what I mean? I never in my case, I never stay in school long enough to even have a test in school then. You know? Because I was a bad boy when I was going to school. You know, I might go for 3 weeks and don't go for 6. Or even 8 or 10, you know, depending. But regular we call school. So I was never in school then to amass any what we would call formal education. But guess what? Am I glad? Yeah, truthfully, I managed to read and write good enough. But I'm glad that I never acquire any of what they call the education. Not that education is a bad thing, you know. But it can brainwash you then, if you know what I mean. It's a very hard thing to be educated and to be awake at the same time, if you know what I mean. Very few can manage that feat, if you know what I mean. It's difficult even when you're not educated. But anyway, even though I am not educated, I am willing now, like I said, to challenge any boy who went to Oxford, Cambridge, Eden, and whatever your great institution call over in America or in China, any blood clot we on the planet. Any one of you boys that you think are scholars or whatever, in what you would call religion, or where truth is concerned. And these, don't forget, you know, these teachers, they would have gone studying for diploma for I don't know how many years. So they shouldn't have no fear of one who don't even go to school. Too tough, you know, and has never studied anywhere and have no diploma. You see what I mean? Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I bet me soul on it that I will defeat them easily as well. I like gamble that one. Yeah, because they might have a lot of knowledge and they do go to college. You see, but in this world you have knowledge and you have wisdom. You see what I mean? And you have to acquire them in 2 different ways as well. Like I say, knowledge can be acquired without any morality by anyone. But wisdom can only be gathered when you cease from doing immoral acts. So we thank the Lord for true, like the man says. You see? Feel alright now. So that's how it works. And no soul who is living immoral can be wise. If you know what I mean. Well, I just signal to my friend here now that we've been rapping here in the firehouse tonight really about the referee of life and a little bit of current affairs thrown in over the top as well, because these humans are really crazy, you know. It look like they're ready to trigger World War III, as they would say, you know what I mean. Because they have World War I and I don't know this thing about this World War before we clip off here anyway. I say, alright then, just play the race card for a minute. Well, it wasn't the Africans who started World War I, or the Indians, or the Chinese. It looked like it was started in Europe here by the white men. The same thing happened in World War II. They start World War II then. Those spirit. I know me use the term white man, but in reality it's the spirit who live in the white body. Still my brothers still. But these brothers start World War II. And I bet you if World War III start, because it's going to be them. Now, why are they starting all this war now? Let's put it in a race context. It's an argument within the family then. the white family then. Let's say it's an argument between them then. You know what I mean? And they can't agree over sharing the placard. They decide they are controlling the planet. But they can't agree each side of the family. You know what I mean? So this always causes a war. First them have World War I over it, and they have and now it look like they're about to what they would call trigger World War III. But I can't see what they're fighting for, if you know what I mean. Okay, they're negative beings, I understand that. But why can't negative souls, as an example, say, okay, I am America, you are Russia. I've got a big gun, you've got a big gun. You control so much, right? That's the border, draw a border. You control that part and I will control this part, you know? But we have to live in peace. Because if you fire after me and I fire after you, you know, a full lot of people are going to die, you know. Me and you might not die, because, you know, we are playing the game still. But think of the enormous amount of our civilians that we'll end up killing. If you know what I mean. But you find out that they will not come to such understanding. So I reckon they might cause the Third World War, because if they do one and they already do two, you know. But when this is likely to be, I don't know. Anyway, I reckon I've been rapping here in the firehouse for so long. First video here in the month of October going on. I remember last month was a month, them say, oh yeah, 20. September 23 and 29 and blood moon and this, the Pope going to America, going to announce all kind of thing. The man never said no. Planet Newborough and Planet X, up till now, me don't see the Planet Newborough and Planet X. Me prefer to watch these you animals fighting war, because them not joke. You know, the only reason why you don't feel the effect of what is going on now, because you're not in Syria. If you was in Syria, every so often you will feel the ground shake by some heavy bomb. You know, vibrate like it was earthquake. You would know something was going on. And I'm telling you, if this get any hotter, you will soon be feeling it, you know. Yeah, it will be coming visiting you. These guys got missile. Anyway, I is going to reload, fade out, and fire out from the firehouse. See me? One bun a big head. Rastafari, leave it. Fire! More fire.